All right, so this is part 3 of our series, my interview with Tom Gentile. It's the last video in the series. And in this video, we talk a lot about crypto. And I want you guys to pay close attention to this, especially if you're not familiar with crypto, you're just new getting into it. Tom really gets into why he added crypto to his Fast Fortune Club program. And then at the end of this, we have a little bit of fun. We just talk about family and travel and things that Tom likes to do in his free time, just so you guys can get to know his personality a little bit. And again, I encourage you to look in the description below this video, check out the links to his program and then also on WealthVine.com, and then comment below this video. Ask any questions. I'm going to be interviewing Tom again sometime in the next few months. And if you have any questions, send those over to me and I will be sure to add them to my list for the next time I interview him. Hope you enjoyed the end of this interview, and we'll talk to you guys later. Speaking of crypto, I'm kind of take a right turn here. Mind if I ask you a couple questions about Fast Fortune Club?
Yeah.
So as you know, we mentioned this earlier in this interview. I purchased Fast Fortune Club membership 2.5 years ago, one of the very first versions. I'm a lifetime member. It continues to evolve every year. And especially this year, I noticed, and a lot of some other people started messaging me, hey, Tom just started giving us crypto recommendations. What's this? Is this going to continue? Like, they were surprised and kind of shocked and happy about it. So why that change? Why did you add in crypto to the Fast Fortune membership?
Selfishly, it's because that's where I'm making all my money. I mean, it's had to, and there's more than just that. Our algorithms have been so spot on over the last year that we have room. So we have a premium service that we do called Microcurrency Trader. And lately we've been, wanting to push some of those signals out, a few of those signals out every month to a larger community. And so, I got with the publishers and I said, hey, why don't you make it part of the Fast Fortune Club? Because there's people in the Fast Fortune Club that, they understand stock. They understand options a little bit, but they don't understand cryptocurrency. And we need to bring them into this century and let them know that digital assets are not going anywhere. We've had that 2014 pop where you had the early adopters. And then 2017 came in, and that was a big retail surge. But after that, it's all been institutions. It's been big money players. You're seeing folks like PayPal, even Tesla, on again, off again. Whether or not they're going to utilize Bitcoin as a form of payment, but a lot of companies out there are doing that. You got Michael Saylor over at MicroStrategy, who's put a lot of his own and company money into Bitcoin as a storage of wealth. But there are a lot of other currencies out there, microcurrencies, that I like to call alpha currencies, meaning that they're getting a much bigger bump when Bitcoin and Ethereum go higher. It's a matter of doing some research on these, making sure that they trade on a platform like Coinbase, and we've got those extra coins that are out there. Why not offer them to the community, to a community outside of our premium group at Microcurrency Trader? So that's why we added it to the group at Fast Fortune.
No, I think it's great. I was really happy to see that. I've dabbled in crypto a little bit myself the past couple of years, but it's one of those things where you feel like unless you dive in all the way and learn everything you can, that you just get a little bit frustrated sometimes or don't feel like you can be successful. So I think it's helpful, to get recommendations from somebody else and learn through somebody else first, kind of where to look and see your thought process. So I think that's great that you brought that into the program.
If I could just interrupt you for a second, the other thing that we did on Fast Fortune, which is fairly new, is we started doing these Zoom calls on a regular basis on what I like to call really Fast Fortune. And that is the art of day trading. Day trading by far is, in my mind, the absolute hardest thing to do. It's easy to go out there and say, I think something's going up, and you trade it. It's much harder to go out there and actually have a rules-based trading strategy that works in the short term. So we were on a Zoom call this morning before I got on the call with you. And you missed it, by the way. You weren't on there today.
Son had a dentist appointment. I couldn't change that.
But I want to share with you real quick the patterns that we had out there. And so I want to show you real quick the 2 stocks we talked about this morning and what they did, so your community gets an idea of some of the stuff that we do. So here are 2 stocks that we looked at this morning, and it was ZM and GM. So ZM or Zoom, everyone knows Zoom. We're actually on a Zoom call right now, but Zoom actually has had a pattern Now this could change by the time your audience sees this. These patterns can change, but we look at real-time patterns in the market. And so, look at this intraday pattern that has happened between 9:30 and 10:30 in the morning. Zoom has had a history of going higher. So if we take a look at, for instance, I have Zoom over here. I have an option on Zoom, and I'm actually going to change this to a 5-minute. So I want to share with you what happened in the 5 minutes that we saw this pattern happen. So it happened on the open. And the opening tick was the low so far, which was $5.50. So what we looked at doing is we take these patterns and we look at option trading on. We look at trading options that have the least amount of time to expiration because we're only going to be in them an hour or less.
Yep.
And so this option went off at $5.50. All we're looking for is 25 and 50% gains. That first 25% gain came within the first 5 minutes. The 50 came within 20 minutes. And we were out of this pattern by 9:45. So 9:50 or 9:30 to 9:45, 15 minutes. The 9:45 bar actually ends at 9:49.59 seconds. So that's really 20 minutes of price action there. So 20 minutes price action, and we had a 25 and 50% return. On the right-hand side of the screen, you got GM. So GM, we had a pattern, which was a short pattern. That means that we expected GM, based on its patterns, falls between 9:35 and 10:35 a.m. For the last several days. So we took that pattern and we looked at buying put options on this. So for those of you that are watching this don't know, a put option, you buy that when you have expectations that a stock is going to head lower, because then your put becomes more expensive. So here's the 9:35 price action. As you can see here, there's well over 1,000 contracts that traded right there off the opening. The opening was at around the 96-cent level. 25% profits came at around, I want to say around the $1.20 mark. And then again, the 50% one came to around $1.45. So you can see 5 minutes later, you'd already made the 25% gain. Then we pulled back a little bit. Then by 10 o'clock, we bottomed for the morning and started moving higher. And as you can see, that 50% profit came in around 10 after 10. So another trade that 35 minutes or so, you jump in, you grab a profit, you move on. Fast fortune, I'm presenting this, and I'm just showing this to you because we actually added this in 2021 as something to the community, as a way of trading these short-term price moves. And so we sprinkle a little of those in because what we want to do is we want to give traders a buffet. And that's what the Fast Fortune Club really is. It's a buffet of trading strategies, different time frames, everything from buy and hold for 60 minutes, or buy and hold for a few months, like it may be with cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, our average hold time on cryptocurrencies last year was, I want to believe it was a little over a year, because we had very many cryptocurrencies that came out. But over the last 3 to 6 months, that average hold time went down to 30 days because all of that volatility came in. And as people were pumping up cryptos, they were taking us out. Yearn Finance, for instance, YFI is a cryptocurrency that a lot of people don't know about. This one went from, I want to say it was in the 30s, went up to near $90,000. And we were taken out in the 80s because that was our profit target. Went up to about 95,000 and then dropped right back down. And you're talking about Yearn Finance is right back down near Bitcoin, trading at or below 40,000. All right, it went down into the 20s. Yeah. I'm waiting for the next signal on Yearn Finance, and then we're gonna trade it. We're gonna publish it. I don't take trades ahead of the community too. That's another thing that I don't do.
Which we all appreciate, and I've told people that's part of your philosophy not to do that.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I was talking to you about this offline. It is a fine line that we walk as traders / publishers. You don't want to be a publisher that doesn't do anything in this business, because if you are, you're going to get called out. Eventually, someone's going to realize that you're just in this for the publishing money. So you got to have skin in the game, but you can't go all the way on the other side and place a bunch of trades and then publish them. That's called front running. It's illegal. I think it's immoral. There's better ways to do that. And we like to think that we're right down, that we're in that middle zone. We publish, but we also trade.
Yep. Just to reiterate real quick from my point of view, it kills me sometimes when I talk to people that are in Fast Fortune and I ask them, hey, do you watch Tom's videos? Do you watch his monthly videos? Do you watch the Zooms? And they tell me, no, I haven't watched this. It's like,
You need to. Like, from my standpoint, I mean, that's where a lot of the gold is watching those videos and your market analysis and kind of what you're keeping an eye on. I think that's such a huge value in that program. Well, I mean, I've told people this in the past, just watching. In the past, it was a monthly recap video. And I told people, I said, the subscription price for me is worth it just to have those monthly videos because I've learned so much from them. And I know a lot of people don't want to sit there and watch a video, but man, if you want to be successful and move forward in your trading, I think you really need to learn from somebody who knows really what they're doing more than you do. Never be the smartest person in the room is what I always
Exactly. Yeah. Never own the highest priced house in the neighborhood.
Yep.
and never be the smartest person in the room because you just, it doesn't go up from there.
Yeah,
I believe in the same thing. And, in a room full of traders, I never, ever want to think I'm the smartest person in the room, even if I'm on this side of the microphone. And because the reason why is because, if I get too big of a head and I think that I'm right and the market's wrong, that's when you get clipped.
Yeah,
that's when the market, comes back and says, no, you're not the smartest person in the room. I always come to the table thinking the same things. What if I'm wrong? That's the first question I ask myself. What if I'm wrong? What do I stand to lose? How's it going to affect the trade? How's it going to affect my portfolio moving forward? I like to have, and this is what I tell folks that are brand new too. Start out learning one or two strategies. Make sure that you have more than one strategy under your belt eventually, because you don't want to be all calls. You don't want to be the guy who just buys call options, because there's going to come a time where that's going to hit you hard in your back pocket. I like to, I have stock that I own. I mean, I'm an investor too. You'd be crazy not to be. In fact, if there's one regret I have since the pandemic began, it was holding too much money in dollars. I've put money into foreign currencies, and I consider that a trade. I'm trading US dollars for foreign currencies. I put money into commodities. I put money into a lot of different areas, but one area I've always held a lot of cash for dry powder to put into different option trades here and there. But I really wish last year I'd have bulked up a little bit more and gotten into the stock market, because, back then, I got to say, I thought things were kind of toppy after that initial surge. And here we are now. And I'm looking back saying, wow, the US dollar did get a lot cheaper. I made some right moves. Definitely cryptocurrency. The best thing I did was I went and put some big money into Bitcoin and into Ethereum when Bitcoin was trading below 10,000 and Ethereum was actually trading well below 1,000. Yep. And I put some big money into those. That was paid off handsomely. But I wish I'd actually put more money into the stock market. That being said, again, if you're brand new, get a couple strategies under your belt. And, for me, in the world of options, I like to pay for options, but I also like to be paid by options. So I try to create this, I like to call it a theta neutral type of trading environment, where I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, meaning that I'm selling premium through either put selling or through credit spreads to help pay for some of the premium that I'm buying.
Yep. No, it makes total sense. Well, I know we're just about out of time here. One last question. So we've talked a lot about trading. When Tom Gentile is not in front of 3 screens and on a Zoom call or on his YouTube channel, what are you doing? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun to get away from the computer screens?
It's weird. I've been a very boring guy for the last year. But, I go back to 2019. I took more trips. My wife is a family-oriented person. She loves the family. She loves being around the family. And, we have a place in New York, so we go up there for the summers. It's summertime. I'm not up there right now. We have a place in New Zealand. I can't get there because they haven't opened the country up yet. But 2019 was a great time to travel. We were in Panama at one time. We were in New Zealand. We've hopscotched all over the country. If you were to ask me, what am I going to be doing this year? I'm going to be doing more land-based travel. In fact, I'm actually getting an expedition vehicle built right now.
Oh, cool.
And I'm trying to convince my wife, who is a glamper, not a camper, to come out, spending a lot of money on this expedition vehicle. And I'm doing 2 things with it. It's actually going to be a Tom's Trading Room mobile trader. So we're going to be able to broadcast from the vehicle wherever we are, because I'm getting the communication set up. I'm getting the big cell booster technology put in. I'm hoping Starlink comes along really fast, because that's going to be great for being able to access high speed internet from practically anywhere.
Yep.
But so I'm trying to take a little work and play on the road, and we want to visit. I've told my wife, I said I want to go to every state that we haven't been to. And so we're going to start off over in Oregon later this summer, and we're going to try to work our way back East Coast. But that's kind of what I'm looking to do. And what it does is even though I'm going to have the technology on board, it's kind of a way of detoxing from all the screens I got in front of me. Got a couple behind me that are not even on, but all the screens that are in front of me here in our podcasting room, all the screens I got over there in the video room, which I'm not at right now. But you need a way to turn this off.
Yep.
This is something I tell people, is that get some strategies under your belt, become a rules-based trader, become an unemotional trader. All right, don't get too emotional in this. You want to make this boring and mundane. Boring makes money, but you know what else? You got to know when to turn it off. Take a breather. Reflect on what you did right, reflect on what you did wrong, and then come back Monday morning, with that fresh attitude. That's what we do. But, really to sum it up, Greg, it's going to take me some time to get used to traveling and enjoying myself outside of our compound.
Well, I hope you figure it out quickly. That's sage advice. And you can see the picture of fish behind me. My son and I are both fishermen, and that's kind of my way to do the same thing. Just get away from the computer screens and not think about it, and just kind of calm yourself. I think that's important to stay focused when you are trying to trade. So Tom, thank you so much for doing this. I can't thank you enough for jumping on this Zoom call. Such amazing advice. And we'll put the links to Fast Fortune Club and also to your YouTube channel down below. I encourage everybody, especially, to check out the YouTube channel. It's free content. It's kind of silly not to check it out. So go ahead and do that. And thanks again. I hope we get to do this again sometime.
Hey, thank you. I'd love to do it again sometime. It was my pleasure. And we'll see you again soon, Greg.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. So that wraps up my interview with Tom Gentile. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to try and interview Tom again in the next few months. If you have any questions that you would like me to ask Tom, put those in the comments below this video. I will make a note of them and make sure that I add those to my list of interview questions when I reconnect with Tom, hopefully sometime this summer. And he's just been such a great resource and a great teacher. I encourage you to check out his YouTube channel. He goes live, as I've stated before, oftentimes during the week. And you can learn a lot from him without even purchasing any of his programs. But I also highly encourage you to look at Fast Fortune Club and get into there. It doesn't cost that much for what you get. It's really an education more than anything. He does give you some trade recommendations, both in stocks and options, but also in crypto, which he is really interested in right now, which I think is just key for everybody to kind of at least learn what crypto is and get your feet wet a little bit, even if it's only a tiny, tiny percentage of your portfolio, which it is for me still. So I hope you enjoyed this interview. Comment below, let me know what you think. And of course, add any questions that you have that I can ask him in my next interview. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week in the next WealthVine.com video. Hey, Greg here from WealthVine. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that icon right in the middle and you can continue getting content like this. I'd also love it if you'd leave a comment below this video. I do my best to respond to all of them. And lastly, thanks for watching.